This video, I'm going to be breaking down how to run the tight slots halfback weak formation out of the Miami Dolphins offensive playbook. If you're looking to get better at Madden and you want to get access to my entire ebook on the Miami Dolphins playbook, it is in our school community, school.com/Cody Ballard. Is $10 and it gets you access to all of my offensive and defensive ebooks, both for Madden 25 and for college football 25. Now, the audibles that I recommend for this scheme is to have at least 4 verticals and mesh spot in your audibles. If you want to put a play like a bench in here, you certainly can. What I like to do is pretty much audible into this formation every single time. And the main reason why is because I don't really need any of the other plays. And we know how good audibling into formations is. So what I'll typically do is come out in this PH sheet wheel play out of the bunch, and I'll be audibling into the tight slots. As you see here, if we come out a bunch and then we just audible 2 clicks over, we are into tight slots. Now, the first setup that I like to run is essentially going to be flood. We're just going to corner out the left side receiver, streak the outside receiver there, and then we're going to table the running backs. You see, this is what it looks like. This is going to be really good against cover 4 and cover 3 coverages. Really easy to hit these corner routes. So you're going to see here, just simply passing this down into the left. And as you see, we're able to hit the corner route against cover 3 and cover 4 hard flat really easily. And then let's say that they do want to run some cover 2 on us. What eventually they're going to do is they're going to run like a lot of cover 2 on you in this offense. So what I like to do whenever I'm getting a lot of cover 2 is just simply check it down to the tight end. And what we're trying to force them to do is we're trying to force them to bring those yellows underneath, to bring their coverage as a whole underneath, which is going to allow us to take advantage of it with our post routes in this formation. So again, mesh spot. Another reason why I think this offense is really good is this offense is going to do a really good job against man-to-man coverage. As you see here, this little running back table is going to be a nice check down if they are in a cover 2 shell. And then the other thing about it is if they're in a cover 2 soft squat, or if the cloud flat just isn't going to get depth, maybe they press out of 3-5 odd or 4-3-1-6-1 type of defense alignment. This corner route can get over a cloud flat kind of late in the route, as you see right there. So just kind of something that you also have. But one of the things that I think this makes this offense specifically like a lot better than other offenses is its capability against man coverage. So against man coverage, one of my favorite plays is this. We're just going to flat this outside receiver, and we're just going to leave the drag routes underneath. This formation gets really favorable animations on the drags. It's hard to press this formation, which is, I think, one of the reasons what makes it so good is it's hard to run just like basic press man against you. And you have also built into your offense a lot of nice post routes that can hit against that. I forgot to take the running back wheel that real route there. I thought I was running cover run robber. So if it's cover 2 man, the main read that you're going to look for here is your double drags underneath. Normally are going to have a good chance of getting open. But then the reason that we flat this guy is so that if it's a cover 2 man type of look, a lot of times this running back wheel can get open on an inside pass lead. I'm not free-forming that up. I'm just simply inside pass leading that against that cover 2 man coverage. And then if they're running a lot of cover 1 robber, one of the nice things about this little play here is this is going to do a really good job of just giving the post route a lot of room to isolate, as well as the running back. You can just kind of loft this up, and a lot of times, as you see, this running back wheel just does a really good job of beating man consistently, whether it be cover 2 man, cover 1 robber, either one, you're going to have a good chance to be able to beat it. Now, if I'm getting a lot of cover 2 man, one of my favorite plays to go to in this offense is going to be 4 verticals. Notice that you have these like kind of flatter wheel routes. What I like to do, very simple, is we're just going to post this left side receiver and we're going to streak the running back. So it looks like this right here. What you're going to see is these wheel routes, when they cut up field, they're going to do a really good job of beating shaded down man coverage. And you have enough of clearing out of the other routes that you're going to be able to consistently hit this a lot. This is like one of the easiest ways that I know of in this game to be able to consistently manipulate cover 2 man. It's real simple setup. It's just 2 hot routes. But these flat wheels, when they cut up field, they almost always get separation against that. And because you have vertical routes from your running back, you have a vertical route from your slot receivers, then what's going to happen against this cover 2 man shell is these wheel routes have a lot of space to be able to work on both sides of the field. So one of these routes, if not both of them, are going to be able to get separation consistently against that man coverage. Just got to catch it. I don't know why my tight end's not catching the ball. But in general, you see that idea or that concept. Another thing that this does for you as far as this is if you go to a play like post wheel drag, you have this wheel route to the right or to the left. What I like to do with this play is streak the running back. I'm going to flat this outside receiver and corner out the tight end. This is kind of specific to a cover two man type of look. What I like about this play is the post on the left side is really, really good. You're going to see that it's just going to get a nice inside cut, and it can occasionally split the safeties on that left-hand side. Another man-beating concept that I like, and you're just noticing hopefully a trend, that this formation is really good against man-to-man. It just really is a very good formation to run against man-to-man, but this one is another one that I really like. Something like this, you can block the tight end if you want to block the tight end. You don't necessarily need to run him on a route, or you could run the play like this as well, or you could flat the tight end. It's a little bit up to you. But what I like is to incorporate this Texas route, because this Texas route will eventually cross the face of the man-to-man linebacker, and most of the time is going to be something that gets really good separation over the middle of the field. So once we get them out of man coverage, one of the most popular zones that you're going to get consistently when you run tight slots is you're going to get this kind of cover four shell. The way that I like to attack a cover four hard flat shell in this is with this setup. I like to corner out the tight end. It's going to put him on a short corner, streak that outside receiver, and then we could either run in the play like this, or the other thing that we could do is we could do a drag and wheel combination on this backside. What this does a really good job of against cover four is this tight end corner is going to get a lot of separation and a lot of space to be able to work to that cover four sideline. And then if they switch stick over to that right side to try to take the tight end corner route away, then typically what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to hit your backside post. So again, here you'll see that I look there. Oh, they switch stick to the corner. Now I got a good chance to hit this post. Didn't get great separation there. Let me try to run that again and just see if we can get a little bit better of a look. But normally this streak will clear out that quarter, and then this running back wheel will kind of open the zones up itself as well. And you're really just looking to throw this kind of right in here. I'm just trying to possession catch it. I don't know why my guy's not possession catching it. Possession catches, for some reason, I guess, are broken in this video because I've dropped so many possession catches. I think that's my third drop. You could also streak the running back out of the backfield as well if you wanted to. But anyway, you'll see right here, just passing that down, possession catch. That's what we're looking to hit consistently. And as you see, it's just hard to be able to defend this. Another underrated setup that I think a lot of people kind of sleep on in this formation is, if you think about it, most people are going to be sending four. And so when you send four out of a cover four shell, you're normally going to be favoring one side or the other. So let's just say hypothetically, like it's more of a bid read type of situation. What you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to use this four verticals play, and you can literally just run double streaks like this. I don't really care what you do with your running back. You can put him on a Texas route. You can put him on a curl and playmaker. But I like a setup like this. I like to actually streak both guys. But we just know how powerful seam streaks are in this game. And you can try to, basically just throw these in the seam. And normally you have like a pretty good shot at hitting at least one of them. It just depends a little bit on how they cover it. But this is something that I'll look for occasionally to kind of manipulate. If they're running a lot of cover four hard flat or a lot of cover two, this would be something like right here on the right side. You see, I can just throw this seam streak. So I just wanted to showcase, like, essentially what you're looking for is which side of the using you throw the other seam streak. And that's something that if they're running a lot of cover four on you, that you can really take advantage of, which is going to force them to run some cover two. So when they run cover two, another way that I like to take advantage of cover two in this offense is you'll get a lot of cover two, especially to that right side. It's a similar setup from post-wheel drag, but this time we're going to streak the running back, we're going to streak the tight end, and then we're going to corner this outside receiver. Now, this outside receiver, we could either leave him on the corner route that he is on, or we could stem him down one tick. And what you're going to see is that this corner runs a lot deeper than your tight end corner, and so it will actually get over the top. I'm going to actually just leave him on his depth. I guess that was a little bit too short, but it will get over the top of a cloud if you leave him on his standard depth, if you don't stem him down, which I will show that. So we'll corner streak. And then if you wanted to on the back side of this, I like to do this because I have a cover two beater on both sides of the formation. But what you're going to see here is this corner route is going to just clear over the top of that cloud. As you see, we're able to really manipulate the cloud flat defender, which is really helpful just in terms of the overall piece of the offense. The other thing that you're able to do with a play like post roll drag is you have this kind of seam wheel to the left side, and you have a running back streak. So what this does is it's going to do a really good job against cover two to the left side, assuming that that cloud flat isn't going to match him, which he kind of did here. But that cloud flat, it does match if it's a soft squat. It does match if it's a situation like you're seeing. But if one of the most popular adjustments defensively is to put your hooks on 5. So if they're consistently putting their hooks on 5 and you're noticing that, what happens is when they put their hooks on 5, they will do a really good job of playing the underneath, but they're not going to do a great job of doing this. And it also is going to oftentimes cancel out a match of that cloud flat. So you'll see here, the cloud flat now is going to be a little bit more static, and it allows us to be able to throw that route as long as CeeDee Lamb doesn't give us the worst like rack catch animation I've ever seen. This is going to be a really, really good play for you. So again, you have a cover two beater basically on both sides of this, which is what I think is really, really good. So you see how the cloud flat's just getting manipulated, and then you're able to hit this kind of up the seam. I don't know how Micah Parsons is playing this that well. I think we're just not getting a great pass lead, and the running back is not getting up the field fast enough. But we'll try to show it one more time. And I'll show you another way that we can manipulate cover two to the left. But just by manipulating these zones, it really does open up the field a lot. So as you see here, I guess Micah Parsons is just going to ruin the video. So that's fine. We're going to now show you another way to beat cover two. If that doesn't work for whatever reason, another really effective way to beat cover two in this game is mesh spot with the flat. This was a setup we talked about a second ago. What this does is you're going to see that flat pulls that flat. Look at that deep half go inside, and now you're able to hit this. A common adjustment that I get a lot whenever you see these tight sets is they will put quarters instead of deep halves. And so another way that we can manipulate that is with this mesh spot setup. By utilizing this running back flat, it does happen to deep halves too, but it also happens even better with quarters. So again, you just see how they go inside so much, and now I'm able to, hit this to the sideline consistently for a big hitter against cover two coverage, which really does open up the entirety of the field, and it makes it difficult because you also, another thing that's pretty popular that a lot of people like to do to try to take away corner routes is they love to utilize soft squats. Soft squat zones are one of the main zones you will see people go to when they're trying to defend corner routes because the soft squat will match it if you don't have a clear out. Well, what we're going to do is we have that little flat, that soft squat matches that flat, and then as you see how that running back just gets in a really nice soft spot against cover two. Another thing that we can do within this offense is we have the potential to have some pretty decent cover three beaters. Now, EA did patch a lot of the previous renditions of cover three beaters, but you could do something like this and have a pretty decent shot. A lot of times this wheel will pull that third, and then you can hit this. It's kind of a tight window to be able to hit, but just know that this is something that you can do. And let me show you that again. And again, a little bit of it does ultimately depend on the positioning of the corners. If the corners are pressed, it's a little easier to manipulate than if the corners are off. But you'll see here, again, watch this running back just kind of pull that third, and then you can hit this. That time the third didn't get pulled, and that's what I wanted to show. That is one of those things about this game that's a little bit random post-patch with kind of how the zones play. If that outside third does not pull, then obviously the running back's going to be there for you. So that's just something to kind of keep in the back of your mind. Another way to make that third pull a little bit more is to utilize a stem, like stem that post up one more tick to try to hit this over the top. And again, it's just one of those things where like post patch, they absolutely made outside thirds and outside quarters just back up like super far, especially if they're backed off like this. So that's not a huge deal for us though, because what I want to show you is we can kind of build around that. So you'll see here kind of the same idea, but I want you to watch that running back. Just passing to him down inside, you can just catch this and take your easy yards as well. So it's one of those things where the play can be ran against multiple coverages You just have to be able to make that read of, does the cover three beater look open, or do I need to just check it down to that wheel route, is kind of important. One of the coverages that I really want to equip you with the capability to be able to beat in this game, I really think you need to have a significantly, like a really good plan for how you're going to attack cover four. Cover four hard flat is one of those coverages that you're going to see a lot. One of my favorite plays to do that with is a post, a running back streak, and a hitch. And the reason why is this is going to, you could turn this into a 15-yard in route, by the way. But what this does is you'll see, watch these yellow zones. They'll have to make a decision. Are they going to sit in the middle of the field, or are they going to go to the post route? If they go to the post route, which typically is what's going to happen, is they're going to go to that post. Then what you're able to do here is you're able to hit your hitch on one side or your running back streak. So you see here kind of how this plays out. And you see I'm not able to quite hit that post where I wanted to, but I would have been able to hit the running back. And most of the time, you won't even have, if you think about just, again, if you just think about like defensively how this is all going to play out, most of the time you're not going to have a legitimate double yellow zone like this. But as you see how that running back kind of gets into that spot that you can just, kind of pepper them with those quick plays. I think a very valuable, very, very valuable element of your offense is something like that. I'd be crazy if I didn't show you some 5 wide combos as well out of this. This speed out makes this offense, I think, a lot of fun. So what I like to do is utilize this speed out. So one of my favorite setups is to speed out the running back, corner route this outside receiver, streak the tight end, and drag the backside. So the reason this is such a good play is because it's really difficult for them to cover this speed out. This is a hard flat coverage, and you're going to see that I can throw that consistently against a hard flatted dollar type of defense. So what they're going to have to do on that right side is they're going to have to play some form of cover two typically. So what we're able to do is if they are going to do some type of cover two, this now sets us up for a big play to this corner route. And then if they switch stick that, we have our backside post and drag to be able to work over a high-low over that side. So this is a really important piece of the tight slots offense, is this little running back motion where you're able to put a lot of conflict. Again, one of the best tools that you have in the tight slots formation is it is a just as is. It's just a really good man beating formation. So you're able to limit their ability to run man, and you're also, you see here that if they do run man coverage, one of the easiest reads to be able to make is just that quick speed out against man. They can never press the running back, which makes it an extremely valuable motion within your offense. And I kind of have a lot of setups for this. So again, if they're going to consistently go to a cover two shell, one of the things that we can do, as I accidentally flipped the formation here, and also just as a rule of thumb, you almost always want to have your bunch to the wide side and your tight to the short side, or running back to the short side, if you will. But one of the other things that I like to do within this offense, pretty much it's a kind of a freestyle piece of this, and there's a lot of ways to do it. But one of the simple ways is running post flow drag, motion out the running back, drag the running back, streak this right side receiver. You could also in route the running back. This kind of looks the same as what we just did, but now it's just a little bit different, very slight difference here. But this is going to do a really, really good job of kind of high-lowing any kind of cover two. As you see, that post route just gets really, really nice separation against any form of cover two. And then if they run a cover four hard flat or a cover three against this, then your high-low over the middle of the field is really going to manipulate those yellow zones, just simply dragging across. My basic read progression here is I'm just looking at this seam streak to the tight end drag, and then normally by that point, this post gets into a really nice area of the field. Tight slots is all about being able to attack the entirety of the field. And, I think this is one of the best ways to be able to do that by motioning out your running back, creating a little bit of a 5 wide look. Another underrated little setup, I think, is something like this. You can really do whatever you want on the left side. I almost like just a straight up, verticals approach. But if you take a look at this tight end wheel, you can kind of throw this in an underrated kind of part of the field where you can hit that against cover four hard flat. Wasn't able to make the catch, but that is a throw that you can potentially make. Another thing that I'd be crazy if we didn't, spend just a little bit on is just a straight up running back streak out of the backfield. So when you call a running back streak and motion this guy out, as you see, he's going to be on a true streak. So what I like to do off of this, a couple different ways we can kind of get to it. But one of the ways that I like to do it would be something basically like this, just a simple high low to the right. I think this is a pretty decent little play because it just takes advantage of that cover four hard flat. As you see, that tight end corner gets a lot of space to be able to work on that sideline. You have a backside post, you have a backside drag, right? And then you have a kind of a true clear out. This is another thing that I'll do. Like if I'm getting a lot of that, remember we're anticipating some cover two when we motion out. So one of the other things that I like to do is if you wheel the running back when you motion him out, let me just show you what happens. If he's on a wheel, he's going to turn into a fade, as you see. And then what I would probably do is a tight end streak with a flat, and then kind of on the backside, just really some kind of high low like this. But why I like this is for that cover two sink type of call. I have a chance to hit this running back over the top deep. Wasn't able to right there. I actually think I like the way the streak runs a little better than that. But if they do run any kind of cover two, you now have a really, really good couple different ways in which you're able to manipulate a cover two coverage. And you could run it like this, or you could run it like this. And then on the backside, again, kind of up to you how you want to use your backside. I think something as simple as a flat zig, which we're going to get into that in a minute. But this can just do a really, really good job at attacking cover two. I just can't get the running back to get where I want him to on the field, unfortunately. So another thing that we can do, I'm trying to think here. If I motion this out, if there's anything else I wanted to show you. The biggest thing I wanted to show you other than this is this idea of a flat and a whip. So I think this is one of the best little two-man games you could run. So here we're going to have a little flat zig combo on the left side. And then on the right side, kind of could do a couple different things. I really like just something simple like this. But what in general is going to happen is you'll see that flat pulls all the zones, and then you can just throw this little whip route right over the middle of the field. A real good, just kind of short passing play that is going to do a lot of damage against the way a lot of people like to play defense in this game. So I like to have that little flat whip in my offense in some way, shape, or form. And typically what you could even do off of this is you could have this motion out running back, and then you could kind of build around this. So like let's say, you want to do a street corner flat with the backside whip, whip flat. You could do something like that. Another thing you could do is really just something like this. I think this is actually pretty good because it really high lows the yellows and it really spaces the field out really well. So anyway, that is something that you can do out of tight slots that I think makes it a pretty good formation. I'd be crazy if we didn't get into the idea of just a good old fashioned slant flat, like a little slant post combination. Love this right here. This tight end runs. The tight end is really why I think ultimately tight slots still has a lot of value, is because you have the tight end slant from this formation just runs really, really, really well. So if we could go to a play, let me get out of here and get back into the tight slots. If we can go to a play like post wheel drag, we have that nice post route. We slant this guy. You could get something like this. And then you'll see here. So let's actually do a streak on the left side like that. But anyway, you'll see. Watch this clear out space, and then you see how that tight end just gets into a soft spot against the defense. So you can do stuff like that. Don't be afraid to use some of your hot routes as well. But I'm a big believer in just you kind of start with this streak corner play on the backside. You could do a 15-yard in route if you don't like how that post route runs. But in general, that corner is pretty reliable and pretty consistent in this offense. Another real small tip that I did not give yet is if you know that they're not running cover two to the left, stem down the corner one time. By stemming down this corner one time, it'll run a lot faster and it will just kind of get into the spot that you want it to a little quicker, as you see. So it's a nice way to just kind of clean that up a little bit. And then that's pretty much it for tight slots. It's just really good against man coverage. I think that's one of the things that makes this formation really, really good. And then it can also do a lot of really cool, underrated things against zone coverage. Just be careful with that outside quarter, outside thirds, with the way the game plays right now. The outside quarter, outside thirds, they just don't get bombed very well. There's kind of very specific things you have to do. But what that does is it opens up these little seam wheels from Mesh Spot. Like this is a very consistent completion within that type of arsenal. So, anyways, that's the tight slots. If you guys want to check out my entire Dolphins ebook, it's in our school community. $10 gets you access to everything I know about Madden and College Football 25, and you can sign up by clicking the link in the description below.